Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling. This is Death calling you.
John Shaw, Special Investigator, Colorado Highway Accidents, reporting case number CC29. Place of accident, Canyon City. Cause of accident, the worst kind of laziness. Luckily, it wasn't fatal. I thought I'd tell you about this case because it illustrates so well. Excuse me. This is Shaw.
Get on the phone, Shaw. Line 3, call from Canyon City. I want you to hear this, too.
Okay, boss. Go ahead. No. It can't be. What time? 7 a.m. Did he know it? Didn't, huh? Yeah, I'll change the entry. Yeah, sure. So long, Mike. Yeah, boss.
Don't take it too hard, Shaw.
Nah, of course not. I'll wait for that until it happens to my kid. I've suddenly lost all desire to tell this story. It was going to be about a kid making a second great comeback, only now he can't. Guinness and I came across this story 3 days ago in Canyon City. One of the boys in the police department was telling us about this accident in town where a lady was driving along talking to her.
So I said to the mayor, well, just don't say anything. If she wants to treat her family that way, running around while they're at home without a wife and mother, just don't get mixed up in it. Henry, you listening?
Yeah.
Well, then so she told me the latest, and you'd hardly believe it. I wouldn't, except that it was Maida that told me, and she wouldn't be passing it on if she didn't know it was true. Is this where I turn, Henry?
You're in the wrong lane.
See anybody behind me?
No, but signal.
Oh, what for? Well, I was going to tell you what Maida... What was that, Henry?
I don't know. Better stop, Henrietta. Felt like something hit us.
Terry hit him all right. All 135 pounds of him. He'd been riding on a motor scooter. Must have been in the blind spot in the left rear of the car. They were both going about 15 miles an hour when the lady turned. Witnesses said Terry made like a fullback hitting the center of the line. Fractured his skull, broke his left leg in 2 places, internal injuries. But the real story lies in Terry's background, as one of the policemen told us.
The thing of it is, fellas, Terry's a favorite this time. You see, he had polio a year ago this spring. Paralyzed his left leg. Well, he was supposed to graduate from high school that year. So he continues his studies in Fed and makes it. Gets graduated in braces, see?
Sounds like we could use more like him.
What I mean is, we could. But there's more. At the time he graduated, he wanted to go in business for himself, see? Just an 18-year-old kid. Well, one of the service clubs gave him this motor scooter to set him up in the delivery business, see? And he's been doing great. Up till now. Seems a shame. Gal just too busy talking. He's gonna pull through, though. I'm betting on that.
Can he have visitors?
Yeah, a couple of the boys have been up lately. It was 3 days before he could even talk.
We might go see him on our way out of town. That's just what we did. I go for kids, especially spunky ones like Terry. Seemed like nothing was going to get him down, he told me.
I got a neighbor boy doing my delivering, Mr. Shaw. Kind of makes me an executive. Directing the business from my office, you might say.
Everything you need, Terry. Telephone, pretty secretaries. Well, I hope everything comes along just fine for you. Next time we're down this way, you'll be back in action.
Sure thing, Mr. Shaw. That old leg and I have been through this before. It got well once. It'll do it again. I'll be raring to go.
Blood clot in his head had it figured different, I guess. All on account of this woman being too lazy to signal. Oh, yeah. One thing I forgot to tell you. Not only didn't she put out her arm to warn Terry, but she had turn indicator lights. Could have saved his life with a flick of her fingertips. Did I say it wasn't fatal? Yeah, I guess that's what you call dead laziness.
Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling you. I know a lot of drivers who don't bother to signal for a turn, don't you? Of course. They're particular friends of mine. The Colorado Highway Safety Council tries to warn them. But there'd be more lazy drivers if I had my way. Happy driving. Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling. This is Death calling you.
Say, boss, I've got a riddle for you.
That's all I need, Shaw. How could you tell us the one thing I've lacked today?
Mother's intuition? Besides, it's Monday.
And a hectic one, as usual. Well, spill it. If it's not about highway safety, you're not John Shaw, special investigator. You're fired.
What, again? I'll take you up on it, as usual.
Cut the gab. Let's get this riddle out of the way.
I wish I could get it out of my mind. Boss, why does a driver on a 3-lane highway with no one in front of him, not passing anybody, get sideswiped and killed by a moving van that's well within its own lane, well within the speed limit, going its own innocent way?
That what happened yesterday on the new Colorado Springs Road?
Yep.
You know the answer?
As much as the living can give, that counts the driver out.
Didn't regain consciousness.
Nope.
Tell me about it.
Well, Eunice and I were out cruising. We heard the call on the radio, so we decided.
What day you think is most popular with people for getting killed on the highway, Shaw?
Any day, I think, Eunice.
No, I mean, don't you think Saturday and Sunday are getting awful cluttered up with people dying lately?
Well, you can pretty well bet on a weekend auto fatality in Colorado by Monday morning, all right.
I picked Friday for dying myself, and looking forward to my day off. I'd be happy at least.
It better not be in a traffic accident.
Speaking of accidents, that looks like it up there, Shaw.
Yeah, take a look. What more room could you want? 2 lanes going uphill, 1 coming down. He has his pick of 2, so he takes the 3rd. Only somebody's using it.
There goes the ambulance leaving. Looks like Peterson covering the wreck. Want to talk to him?
Okay, let's go.
The truck driver and Miss Tabor are still around, Shaw, if you want to question them. There's Miss Tabor.
Thanks, Peterson. How do you do, Mrs. Tabor? I'm John Shaw, Special Investigator, Colorado Highway Accidents.
Hello. I don't know too much about this one.
You didn't see it?
No, but I expected it.
How's that?
Well, we've been driving behind this fellow in the coupe for quite a distance. I'm telling you, I never saw such driving in all my life. He was all over the road. Just couldn't tell where he was going next.
You mean he was in and out of his lane?
Oh, lanes didn't mean a thing to him. It made me so nervous. I told the folks riding with me that I was just going to stay a good ways behind him. When we saw what happened, we decided to stop and tell the officers what kind of driver he was.
Were you right behind him?
Mercy, no. I imagine we were a mile or more back by the time it must have happened. Somebody had already called the officers when we drove up to the accident.
You recognized the car?
Yes. Oh, he'd upset us so. My, the chances he'd take.
Oh, for instance?
Well, for instance, back there quite a while. You know, before you came to the 4-lane divided part?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, he would rush up and pass people when the yellow line was in his lane. Like on a hill. Well, like here. He'd just suddenly swerve out in the other lane and then cut back in. Then he'd slow up again. Just wanted to pass, you know.
Do you think he was drunk?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Just trying to irritate people, or wasn't keeping his mind on his driving, or maybe...
Shaw, excuse me. They just found something.
What's that?
Among the papers in his pocket. An airmail letter from his son, just back from 8 months in Korea. Was to arrive at Camp Carson this noon. Asked his dad to meet him there.
Here's the truck driver's report, boss. He was coming downhill the single lane, saw this guy going the other way in the far lane. Suddenly this fellow pulled over to the passing lane, only he came too far. Truck sheared off the side of the car, scratched the truck, that's about all. If you get the answer to the riddle, I imagine that boy home from Korea will appreciate knowing it.
Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling. The communists have nothing on me. If you don't follow the, shall we say, party lines on the highway, I'll rub you out, too. Ask the Colorado Highway Safety Council. They'll tell you what a record I have with offenders. Happy driving.
Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling. This is Death calling you.
John Shaw, Special Investigator, Colorado Highway Accidents, reporting case number 12B22. It happened near the city of Greeley. Guinness and I spent a few days there reviewing traffic problems with some of the officials. We also went out on several accident calls, including this one rainy night about 8:30 when...
Looks pretty young, Shaw.
Yeah, 18, I'd say. They mend fast.
We're going to have to do a lot of mending.
Check the girl's pulse again. Oh, what a lousy night.
Got the ambulance? Can you tell?
Yeah. Is she still okay?
Pulse feels pretty strong.
You help get the 2 of them into the casualty carrier, Guinness, and radio into town. Tell them not to call the parents. We'll drive back and inform them personally. There are a couple of things I want to check, then we'll head for town. Nice looking place here. Ring the bell, Dennis.
Yeah, sure. What time you got, Joe?
5 to 9.
Yes?
Are you Mr. Dollardy?
Yes, I am. What is it?
I'm John Shaw, a special accident investigator
From an insurance company?
from the state of Colorado.
But I haven't had any.
Your son has.
What?
Don't get panicky, Mr. Dollardy. He's alive, all right.
What's happened? Where is he? I must see him.
We'll take you to him shortly. You mind if we come in first and get a little information?
Oh, I know. It's just that I...
We understand. This is Sergeant Gimmons. How do you do?
Yes, I'll do. My wife is upstairs.
Don't call her just yet. Is this the license number of your son's car?
Yes.
You ran into the bridge over the South Platte going east on Highway 34, Mr. Dollardy. Lucky they weren't going any faster, they'd be dead. The car's front end is badly messed up. He had a girl with him.
Yes, he and Joni went out tonight. His girlfriend.
Went out like a light, all right. Ambulance got him to the hospital. We'll take you and her parents down there.
Oh, that car.
That's what I want to talk to you about, Mr. Dollardy.
I just transferred it into my son's name 2 days ago. How did it happen, you know?
Well, there's something funny. There doesn't seem to be any reason for the accident. Is your son a good driver?
Very good. It was the car, I'm sure. I'll never forgive myself.
Why do you say that?
Well, I've been looking for a new car for several weeks. Was going to trade this one in. But everywhere I went, it was the same thing. Like the other day.
I'm afraid that's the story, Mr. Dollardy. About $400 is all I can allow you on it. It needs a lot of fixing up. Motor needs overhauling, new battery. The front shock absorbers and rear spring on the right have got to be replaced. Probably a paint job, too.
Why, that's practically an insult. I'd rather fix it up and give it to my son than trade it in for that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dollardy. That's the best I can do.
I gather from that you bought a new car and gave your son title to the old one.
That's right. I intended to get it fixed up right away.
Sure. You want to get your wife? We'll go see your son. The one with the $400 price tag.
Gee, Dad, I didn't know if I'd ever see you again. How's Joni?
She'll be all right, son. It's all my fault.
Gee, I don't know what happened, Dad. The wipers wouldn't work. In the rain. It was hard to see. Then the car seemed to drift to the right. I tried to pull it back. The car wouldn't steer. It was awful, Dad.
I shouldn't have let you drive it in that condition, son.
Nobody should have been driving it, Mr. Dollardy.
Yes, you're right. We'll get it fixed up, son, just like new. Special, for when you get out of the hospital.
You'll need it fixed up more special than you think, Mr. Dollardy, if your son is going to drive it.
What do you mean?
Tell him, Guinness. I need some fresh air.
His legs are crushed, Mr. Dollardy. They'll have to be cut off at the knees.
Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling you. The Colorado Highway Safety Council may suggest you get a full checkup on your car, but I say let's not rush into these things. Fall will come again next year, won't it? Meanwhile, you and I can have some fun together. Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling. This is Death calling you.
This guinea pig is none of our experiments, Mr. Shaw. He hasn't been asleep for 4 days.
How long do you estimate people can be kept awake?
No estimated to it. Mr. Shaw, from actual experiences, the longest anyone has been known to live without sleep is a little less than 10 days.
These tests agree with that?
As well as we can compare humans with animals. Say, how come you're interested in this type of thing anyway?
An accident that killed a man and put his wife in an Alamosa hospital with a broken back. This is John Shaw, Special Investigator, Colorado Highway Accidents, reporting case number A260. Time of accident, 8 p.m. Location, east of Alamosa. Cause, sleeping sickness, I'd call it. Only not the kind caused by the tsetse fly. More like insomnia that backfired. The story began in Cleveland, where a telegram arrived one day for a Mr. and Mrs. Dudley. It was from their son-in-law, a professor at Adams State Teachers College in Alamosa.
Read it again, Alice.
It says, Dolores in hospital with pneumonia. asking for Mother, can you come, love?
I knew it. Why won't children listen to their parents when they grow up?
You're a fine one to talk. This is no time for criticism. I'm going.
We're both going.
Can you arrange it?
I can and I will. We'll drive. If we leave as early as we can in the morning, we'll make it in 3 days.
Looking at your handy-dandy map, you'll see that Cleveland, Ohio is a long ways from Alamosa, about 1,600 miles. To drive that in 3 days would make anyone tired, but according to Mrs. Dudley, the nervous tension and worry under which they were traveling kept her husband from sleeping much the first 2 nights. She recalled awakening in their hotel room about 2 a.m. the second night. Her husband was tossing so.
Aren't you asleep yet?
No. Lord knows I'm tired enough. I haven't slept more than 4 hours last night and tonight combined.
Well, should I call a doctor?
What good will that do?
Maybe he can give you something to relax you or put you to sleep.
Well, you've got to get started too early. Just let me alone. I'll doze off here pretty soon.
Well, if you can't drive without rest.
I'll rest. We'll be in Alamosa tomorrow. I'll sleep then.
He slept all right, but he won't wake up for a long time. In the hospital, Mrs. Dudley recreated what she knew of those last minutes. They were approaching Alamosa shortly before 8 o'clock the third night. She was trying to keep her husband.
You tired, dear?
Dead tired.
Do you think you can make it?
What a question. There's only 20 more miles to go.
You should have taken the train or plane.
Quit saying that. I'll be just fine.
Turn the radio on.
What for?
I'm so tired I can't keep up a conversation. I'm afraid they'll go to sleep at the wheel.
Fine chance of that.
Well, turn it on anyway.
All right, all right.
You awake?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn this up louder. Daryl, what are you doing? Look out!
Happened just that fast. Always does. The car started drifting off the road. You must have dozed off for just a second or two. At 50 miles an hour, that's too long. One front wheel hit a barrel pit. The car turned over. Mrs. Dudley flew out the right front door. Mr. Dudley flew into the great beyond. Steering wheel crushed his chest. Smashed a medicine bottle in his shirt pocket, too. His wife said he stopped in a drugstore in Walsenburg to buy it. He was going to take some when he got to Alamosa. Yeah, they were sleeping pills.
Hello, Colorado. This is Death calling you. I've composed a lullaby of the road just for sleepy drivers. The Colorado Highway Safety Council is trying to keep my tune from being played, but I still sneak it in once in a while. It's such a good finale. Don't you agree?